Yeah, mainly for the people who are joining online, I'm just telling you all. See, from tomorrow, the meeting will not be starting here. Don't join here first. See, the meeting will join in a separate app that is web.proctor.com. web.proctor.com/home. You're required to log in into this particular site, and the login credentials are shared between all the people who registered for online. And another important thing is the job oriented students are not allowed to come online. You should be in the classroom. You must attend in the classroom session. Okay, for all the people who registered for online, I mean the full stack students, for them the meeting details are already shared in their WhatsApp. If you did not receive them, contact the admin. The admin is in our WhatsApp group. And any one of you, do not share the meeting details in the WhatsApp group. Don't share the meeting details in the WhatsApp group. Who registered for online sessions, for all of them in their WhatsApp, you received the link to join online from that. And then again, I'm telling you, job oriented student should be in the classroom. You must come to the physical classroom. You're not given an online permission. You'll not be allowed to attend online from tomorrow onwards. You must be in class. Link from class.naresheti.com. Yeah, in login into that, you will be getting access to the link from there. This is how the
is being recorded.
app looks like. And once you log in into that, you just require to go to the live classes. And from there, you'll be finding the Zoom option. I think it is the Zoom option. Yeah. From here, you'll be finding, see there. This is the Zoom link. So you need to click on this start and join from here. Okay. So live classes under that Zoom, and click on the start and join from here. This will be the process. This will be the process how you require to join. And do not share your credentials with anyone. And if they see multiple logins with the same details, your account will be blocked off. Okay. So it is like whoever got that, anyone, any full stack or complete online students, if you miss that, contact Sukanya. She will provide you the details. And now link will be shared with job oriented students. You must be in a physical classroom. Okay, guys. So last session, we have been talking about where exactly the web server is going to store you. The web server is going to store you the, what is that? Like session values. We discussed like 3 options here. What are the 3? InProc, state server, SQL server. InProc, state server, SQL server. Okay. So if you understand this particular thing here, in InProc sessions, state server, SQL server, InProc, where is it stored? Where is it stored? It is stored on the worker process memory. It is stored on the worker process memory. Okay. Second thing, state server. What is that state server? As I said, it is a separate software. It is a separate software. It is going to be a separate software what we have. And that particular software that particular software, you just need to install that particular software on your machine. And after installing the software on that particular machine, you will be provided with, I'm sorry, you can store the values into that particular software, but not in the work and process memory, but not in the work and process memory. It is stored or saved for you completely in a separate software. What is that software? State server is the software. This is the second option, what I said to you. Third option is SQL server. You can store these things in the SQL server. In SQL server also, we can store the values now. So if at all you want to store this in the SQL server, if at all you want to store in SQL server, okay. If you just wanted to store in SQL server, put in the mind first, what are that? If you want to store in SQL server, how do you store them in SQL server? If you want to store them in SQL server, guys, first you require to create a database, some tables, some stored procedures to manage the data. All these things has to be done first. What you require to do? A database should be created. A set of tables should be created. And a set of stored procedures should be created. All these things should be created. But we don't require to create them anything manually. We don't require to do anything manually. Then how do we do that, sir? Actually, we are provided with one tool. ASP.NET, .NET provides you a tool. When you run the tool will do all the work for you. It will create the database, it will create the tables, it will create you the stored procedures. Everything will be created for you by the tool now. So you're required to only tell what you want. If you tell that, rest of the things will be taken care by the tool now. Okay, how to use that tool? Watch. Open your developer command prompt. You know what developer command prompt now? Open the Visual Studio developer command prompt. Better open this in administrator mode. Better open this in administrator mode. You know how to open in admin mode now? Right click, run as administrator. Once you open this in the administrator mode, you will have an option called ASP.NET _ RegSQL. This is the tool actually, ASP.NET _ RegSQL. So we require to give some inputs to it, and it'll do the work for you. What input should I give? To know that minus question mark is a help actually. Minus question mark. I'll give you all the help now. So what are the inputs you just required to provide for this? Watch. First, the first thing is minus S capital S. Here you're required to provide the server name. You know, connecting to SQL server, how do you connect here? Data source name, database name, user ID, password. If it is Windows authentication, you just give integrated security. You know all those details now. Same only. Capital S, server name. Capital U, username. Capital P, password. It's case sensitive, guys. Be careful. Okay. And no, sir, mine is Windows authentication. If Windows authentication, don't use capital U, capital P. Use capital E. No need to give anything, just capital E. Enough. Okay. Otherwise, without writing individually, you can directly go for writing the capital C connection string. Connection string. Instead specifying your name, password, and server name, specify a SQL Server connection string. The string must not contain a database name. You should not have a database name unless otherwise specified. What is that unless otherwise specified? I'll tell you, but it should not contain the database name. Okay, better write individually. Minus S, minus U, minus P, or minus S, minus E. Minus S, server name, minus E, Windows authentication. Otherwise, minus U, user ID, minus P, password. Okay. Actually, after this, there are different options available here. What are that? Application services option. These are, I will talk about each thing going forward in the different scenarios. These are different. Application services option. If you scroll down, you'll be finding this is for caching, guys. Caching. This is for caching the data. SQL cache dependency. This is the one what we require. What is it? Session state option. Here you need to write minus. See, all these are lowercase. SSAD. You're asking the add a support for SQL. Same way you can use SS Rebo and remove the support now. Next, SS type. What type of support you want? Temporary, persisted, or custom? What is it temporary? Temporary in the sense, I said you last class, remember? Right now, in proc and state server are temporary. Once you restart them, all the session data is lost. Correct or not? Once you restart, all the session data is lost. So same way here also, if you say T, what is it? Temporary. In this case, the data will be stored for you under the TempDB database of SQL Server. Which database? TempDB database of your SQL Server. You know TempDB now? By default, 4 databases are automatically created for you. Under that one database is TempDB. That is stored on the TempDB database actually. So once it is stored on the TempDB database, do you know that what if you restart SQL Server, TempDB database is recreated. If you restart SQL Server, TempDB database is recreated. Means once you shut down SQL Server, TempDB is dropped. And it is dropped means you lost all your data now. Again, you start it recreated now. Data is not there. So that is temporary. That's why the name is also TempDB. That is only for temporary based until the server is restarted. The server is restarted, all the data on the TempDB is lost. If I say T, where the data is stored? TempDB. But what about the stored procedures, sir? Actually, to store the data, we need tables. Alright, to store the data, we need tables. Tables are created on TempDB. What about the stored procedures? Stored procedures are not created on the TempDB. It will create a database called as ASP state. ASP state, and all the procedures will be stored in the ASP state. Means all the procedures are persistent when data is temporary. Okay. So once again, I'm telling you, it is T. Where are the procedures stored? Procedures. ASP state, a separate database is created with the name called, and all the procedures are stored there. Where are the tables stored? TempDB. So once you restart SQL Server, TempDB is also recreated and all the data is lost. Next, P. P indicates persistent. P indicates persistent. In case of persistent here, even you restart SQL Server also, data is not lost. See, you created tables in SQL Server. If you shut down your machine, all the tables are destroyed. No, they are persisted. Same way, your session data also will be persistent. Where they are stored, sir? Tables are also stored on ASPDB only now. Tables are also stored on ASPDB. Procedures, tables, both are created on ASPDB only. But in the first case, tables on TempDB, procedures on ASPDB. Third one is C, custom. Custom in the sense, not ASPDB, you can tell your own database name. I don't want ASPDB here. I want to create a database with my own name now. I can tell that database name and everything will be created there. And that is also persistent only. That is also persistent only. You can read, guys. Session state data is stored in TempDB database. Stored procedures for managing sessions are installed in ASP state database. Data is not persisted if you restart SQL, and this is the default option, remember. P, persisted. Both session state data and stored procedures are stored in ASP state database. Here also, both session state data and stored procedures are stored in a custom database. So what is that custom database? You require to specify that here. The database name must be specified. Hauser -d and give the database. And -d is used only when the SS type is C. Did you understand? So watch it, guys. How to use that, I'll show you. Observe this carefully. ASP.NET _ reg SQL. ASP.NET _ reg SQL. Then you're required to provide the information one by one. First, capital S, be careful. -S space server name. What is my server name? Remember? server. Next, if I'm using Windows authentication, simply -C is enough. But if I want to use SQL authentication, -U, capital U, username. What is my username? SA. -P, password. What is the password? 123. No need database name. Database name is defined by it. That's why don't need the database name. Okay. Afterwards, these are login details are completed now. Once the login details are completed, now you just are required to use this particular option. This is cache dependency. No, this is session state. What is it? -SS add. Space for every value -SS add. Means it will add your support now. What type of support you want, it is asking now. Space -SS type. And you're required to tell now what type of support you want. T or P or C. I'm using T for the, oh, sorry. I'm using T for the first time. Okay. Before I ran the tool, before I ran it, let me open SQL Server. Let me open the SQL Server. Yeah. And if you see here, you don't have any database with the name called as ASP state. You don't have any database with the name called as ASP state. You need the database now. You need the database. Who will create that? My tool will create all those things now. I should tell to my tool what I want. First, this is the tool name. -S is to specify the server name to connect to SQL server. -U, the user ID. -P, the password. If it is Windows authentication, what I said here? Don't use -U, -P. Use -E. Afterwards, SS add. What is SS add? SS add indicates you add the support for SQL Server session mode now. You add the support for SQL Server session mode. That is what we call as SS add. Afterwards, SS type. The SS type is to tell what type of support you want, whether you want a temporary support, persisted, customer. So initially what we are taking is temporary. So in this case, what will happen, see, in the system databases, you'll find a database called as TempDB. Now, the tables which are required for storing the data will be stored into TempDB now. They are not still created because they did not complete the running of the tool there. Then the tables will come here now. And apart from that, you will also see a new database called as ASP state, under which all the stored procedures will be created. Understood? Watch it. I'm running it. Finished. Watch. I ran it. It finished. Observe. Refresh. There is a new database created. See now. What is the name? And here we don't have any tables. See. We don't have any tables. But if you go to programmability and stored procedures, see there it created you a set of stored procedures, not like one or two procedures. So many procedures are created. So many procedures are created. We don't require to bother what are those. SQL Server is using those tables to manage. You are least bothered about it. Okay. So here we have all the stored procedures. Now, where are the tables, sir? Go to system databases, go to TempDB, go to tables, and there you'll find the tables. These are the tables under which it is going to store you the data. Got it or not? These are the table. These are the tables under which it is going to store you the data. So guys, observe. New query. Select star from no data right now. Empty. Why? We only created the things, that's all. We still did not configure our project for storing the data there now. Are you clearer or not? So what option we enable now? Temporary or persisted? Temporary. So let us see this later on. We will enable the persisted option also and see. Okay. So this is the temporary option what I have enabled. Now it is temporary and the data is all stored in where? TempDB. It is all stored for you in the TempDB database. It's all stored in the TempDB database basically. Okay, let us try this, guys. Let us try this. Watch. Let us open our project. Actually, yesterday we installed in IES, right? So open in the administrator mode, guys. MVC, data transfer. Last day, you said mode is equals to state server, remember? Where you said web.config, and the web.config we specified that information mode is equals to state server, right? Now change there. Mode is equals to mode is equals to SQL server. Now, not state connection string. Yesterday, what we used is state connection string. In the place of it, SQL connection string. You required, right? SQL connection string. You know the connection string now? Write down. Tell me. Louder here. Data source equals to server. User ID, SA, password, 123. For Windows authentication, you know what to write. What is that? Integrated security is equals to SSPI. Okay. So I'm using SQL. Sir, database name, no need. You don't require to write the database name at all. You don't require to write the database name at all. The database name is not at all required. Okay. So now what are we using? We are enabling SQL server authentication, sorry, state session mode now. So data will be stored where? SQL server. The data will be stored in SQL server. So once rebuild the project, open your browser. HTTP localhost MVC data transfer. That is a method which is using the session, right? Which method? Index 10. Index 10. Okay, hit enter. Got your information? Go to SQL server, check. Session ID. When is it created? What is this, sir? 2:48. It is showing you in GMT, the Greenwich Mean Time. So just add 5:30 for it. You'll get your time now. Understood? Okay. So you know you learned about GMT now, but now it is called as UTC, guys. No more GMT. Now onwards, you should be called as UTC time, not GMT. UTC, Universal Coordinated Time. Actually, the full form is Universal Coordinated Time, but not UCT, it is UTC. The words are a little bit, the characters are jumbled. UTC. But the full form is you go to industry, no more GMT anywhere. You should call it as UTC time. Yeah, right now it is showing you the UTC time. If you add 530 for it, you'll get your time. Okay, now. Okay. And right now, what is the expression to 58? Sir, 20 minutes na? 20 minutes only, but you said 10 na? Check it, you said 10 na? That is, it is also maintaining 10 only now. See, when will it expire, it is telling you. Are you clear? Okay, but guys, remember, if I send a request, this will update off. This clock is reset, I said you already remember? That happens. It stores you some data, all the information. Actually, this is your session data here. In encrypted format that is stored there. In encrypted format, it is going to store you the information into that particular place now. Okay now? And we don't manage any of these particular things, or we don't insert, or we don't do anything. Just to show you, I'm just showing you, that's all. You're least bothered about these procedures and these tables. None of your business. Got it? And now all of you can observe what is that. If I come here and if I refresh, the data is available for me. Now what you need to test, let us start the worker process. After restarting the worker process, is the data available or not? Yes, it is available. Why? It is not stored in worker process memory. Where is it stored? So even to restart my worker process, the data should be persistent now. Correct or not? So right click, task manager, details, my pool, right? See, why I separated into a separate thing, so that you understand it correctly. That is the reason why I created a separate pool and I shifted your application into this pool now. Got it, all of you? So that you can easily terminate your application pool. So right click and task and process. Now come here, refresh. Data is not lost. Data is not lost, right? It's not losing the data. Come here, your data is still persistent here. And if you see that the time changed off here, the clock is reset. That's what I explained you already. Resetting the clock this time did not change. Created time did not change. But expired time got changed. Why? Because the clock is reset for every request. If I see what is the time now? 3:156, right? Okay. I refreshed, time modified here. Whenever the request comes now, clock is reset again. Understood or not? You see like a chess game anytime. If you see the chess game, there will be a stopwatch beside. Everyone required to just make a move and reset the stop clock there now. Are you clear? And the next player, time starts there. Within the time, they need to make a move. Within the given time, they need to make a move now. So that's why they put a stop clock. So once you make a move, you just reset the stop clock again. So this is also exactly the same process. Sir, if I restart state server, if you restart state server also, no use. And no need to restart state server. Why? It is not started at all. Yesterday we started, that is manual. Yesterday you started. Once the system is shut down, that is also shut down. And now it is not started now because it is manual. So no need to verify with state server restarting because the state server is manual. Okay, maybe some dependent service. Okay, morning. I understood why. Actually, morning, first time we have just to put this as state server only. So that started off automatically actually. Yesterday I said, you remember, manual means either user can start or a dependent can also start now. Are you clear? My application, when I ran in the morning, that started off this automatically because it has a dependency. But this doesn't make any sense for us. See, I will go for stopping. Oh, sorry. Just a minute here. Stopping this. See, it is not running now. Right? Even though it is not running, that doesn't have any impact on my values. Why? Because they are stored on SQL server. Again, I refreshed it, guys, and the time should be, the clock should be reset here. 3:27 should change now. Got it? Okay. So state server doesn't have any effect for us. We are not storing on the state server. So when these values are destroyed, sir, if you restart SQL server, if you restart SQL server, how to test it? Watch, guys. From here only, from services window only, you will restart SQL server also. See this, what is it? Running now, right click, restart. Once you restart, your data is lost. Your data is lost. So guys, observe it. First, watch here. Data is lost. Sir, what about this one? First, no, it is storing the old data, guys. Just close this connection. If you see this, it is showing you the whole time. This connection should be closed off once. Okay. Understood. Another session is created of here. Another session is created. We should have copied the session ID earlier. Okay, just a minute. I'll show you again. Wait. Let us start from. Okay, now I started from here. All of you observe. Copy the session ID. Okay. Come to services, restart SQL server. SQL server restarted. And now when you come back to the application and refresh, you don't have a data. Array, but this created a new session now. This created a new session. So how to verify? The session values are, okay. It maintained the same session, but see there, the session values are removed off. I should have copied that values also. I'm doing half of work. Just a minute here. Let us take from here. Okay. Just a minute. Come here. Execute. This is our session. Let me copy the session data. Concentrate, guys. This is the session data. I said you it is stored in an encrypted format. Okay. Now, come here. Restart. Come to your browser. Come to your browser. Refresh. Data lost. If you see the session is same, but go and see the session data is changed of here. See there, the session data is removed of now. So your session data is not available. Why? SQL server is restarted. See, that is only the session data now. Why? 0 is there. See here. That is stored in the encrypted format there. That's all. Earlier, all the values. See, you see the encrypted string. There's a lot of difference. This is the old value and this is the new value. It is deleting you the things. So basically what happens here is whenever you restart SQL server, TempDB database is dropped. TempDB database is dropped and recreated. Are you clearer or not? So that is the reason why it is just going to lose all the information. All the information is lost. Point clear, everyone? Yes or not? So this is what we call as temporary. But if it is persisted, even a restart SQL server also data will be present. If it is persisted, even a restart SQL server also data will be present. Shall we test persisted now? Okay. if you want to test persisted, guys, first thing you're required to do is you're required to remove the support and add again. What I mean is, you added the support for a temporary now. You want persisted. So what you require to do? First, you require to remove the old and freshly add the new now. Okay. How to remove? I said you the command now. What is the command? SS remove is the command. But when I run this, asking you, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. But see, this won't remove. This won't remove. It is taking some time. Why is it taking time? Because there are connections open with the database here. There are connections open with the database, and to drop a database, all the connections should be closed. Anytime, did you drop a database in SQL Server? Tell me, whenever you try to drop a database in SQL Server, if a connections are open, it won't allow you to drop. Did you notice that? That is why whenever you're trying to drop a database, see, I want to drop this database, right click and say delete. Here you'll have an option. Otherwise, it won't allow you to drop, man. Understood my point? So you need to click that particular option. Otherwise, you'll be getting an error. So now also, I am facing this problem because some connections are already open to it now. So how to close these connections now? Nothing, guys. Just restart SQL Server. All the connections are closed off now. When I restart SQL Server, what will happen here? All connections are closed off now. Now come back here, run the same command again. Yes. Finished. Clear? Now let us test the second option. What is it? What I'm using? Persistent. Okay. Before I use that, let me bring you here. Refresh. See there, ASP state database is not there. Why? We removed the support. And go to TempDB and check. You don't have the tables also there. Are you people clear or not? See, all the connections are closed. That's why basically the connections are actually closed off in the world. I'm telling error. Why? The table is not there in ASPDB anymore now. Are you clearer or not? Okay, the tables are not there in this ASPDB anymore. Why? Dropped off now. The tables are also deleted. Nothing is available for you here. Clearer or not? Now let us rerun it now as P. Persistent. Finished. Observe. Refresh. Database recreated. Tables also here only. Procedures also here only. That only is at you. Tables and procedures, everything is created for you here only now. Now, new query. Select star from. Oh, sorry. What is the database, guys? ASP state. Okay, now come on. Let us run our application once. Got it? Okay. Come to SQL. Copy these values and put here. What is this? Session ID. And also the session data. Is the session data. Encrypted format, the session data is available there. I copied both the two values now. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So what do we need to test now? Restart SQL Server and test. Restart SQL Server and test. Right click, restart. Restarted. Do you remember earlier after you come here and refresh, you lost all your data? I'm refreshing, guys. Now, okay, and you come here, guys. Earlier, this is the old time now. What is the old time? 3:13:33, right? Okay, execute. See there, it did not change the Session ID. Session ID is not changed, see. Changed. Expiry date changed now. And you go and verify. This is also not changed. This is also not changed. Check it out. Exactly the same value. But earlier we lost. Remember? Now I did not lose. It is called persistent. This is what we call as persisted. Okay. Third option is custom. What is custom? Custom is same as persisted here. Only thing is database name can be specified by you without ASP state. You can use your own custom database. You can use your own custom database. Generally, when we do that, I already have one application. That application is using SQL Server state session mode now. And that is my first application. So what is it using? ASP state database. I have another application now. For another application also, if I use the same database, I don't know which values are stored in, which values corresponds to which application now. Are you getting my point? In that scenario, what you can do? For application 1, your own database. For application 2, your own database. For application 3, your own database. Like this, you can give separate databases on your own. That is the advantage of custom. If you want to see, I'll show you that custom also. Watch. Right click. Restart. Come back here. What you'll do? Remove. I'm removing the support, guys. Finished. Come here. Right click. Refresh. See there. ASP state database is dropped. Clearer? ASP state database is dropped. It is dropping the ASP state database. So if you observe this, if you just observe this particular thing here, okay. Now let us come back again. Come on, use it now. Guys, what should I use? C. C means custom. But what is the database name? You only should tell now. How? -d. My database name of my choice now. My sessions. Okay. So click enter. It is giving a small warning message to you. See. Two things you require to do here. What you know? One, you're required to use that attribute allow custom SQL databases property as true. Allow custom SQL databases property as true. Second, remember in the connection string earlier, we did not specify the database name. Why? That is predefined. I don't require to, but now it is predefined. You're the defined. Then you should tell that. You should tell that now. Okay. So if you want to test it, okay, how to test, I'll show you. Now change here. See, ASP state is not there at all first. Did you notice it? What came now? My sessions. It is going to be my sessions. Okay, this connection got closed and not working. Let us open a new query. What is that? My sessions. Select star from ASP state temp sessions. Database is freshly recreated. But if I want to bring this into action, what should I do? Come to your application. Come on. Here, write down database is equals to my sessions. Next, allow custom SQL database is equals to true. These are the changes you require to make. Okay, now these are the changes what you just require to make now. After making all these changes, rebuild your project once. Come on. Again, I'm running index 10, okay? Shall I change this ID? Okay, different ID I use now. No, it's still processing. So just to confirm here, the new values are there. Okay, different ID is what I used. Refresh is working. Now go to SQL verify. This is your new session ID. This is your current expiration time. These are your values. Okay, now what to do now? How to verify this? Restart SQL server. Restart SQL server. Restarted. Come back to your browser. Refresh. Data is not lost. See. Go to here. Re-execute and re-verify. See. Did not change. Right? Expire time will change now. Expire time change now. But to indicate it's a new refresh. Next. This also did not change. So your session is persisting now. Are you people clearer or not? Understood the third option? What is it? SQL server. First option, in proc. Second option, state server. Third option, SQL server. Right now, what we saw is the SQL server session mode option now. I enabled you the SQL server session mode in this context. Are you people clear or not? Understood, everyone? So this is how exactly the things are taking place basically. Yeah. Now observe. Okay, fine. So I just wanted to remove the whole support back again. Restart. Next. I want to remove. Yes, removed. But guys, when you are using custom, okay, refresh, it won't drop the database, guys. In case of custom, it won't drop the database. Not dropping the tables or not dropping the stored procedures also. It is your responsibility to manually do all these things. It is your responsibility to manually clear. If it is ASP state, it will do. But if it is custom, it won't do. You only should delete all these particular things. Right now, still that is available. Did you notice it? So I only should drop it right now. So right click, delete. And guys, if I click on OK, it won't drop. Why? Connections are open. See that? That only I was telling you. It won't drop. Connections are open. So from SQL Server, I have that option. What is it? Select the checkbox now. Which checkbox? Close existing connections. But I'm doing from command window. I can't do that. That's why what did I do? I restarted the server. See now. Close existing connections and click OK. Connections are closed and it is going to drop it. Are you clear? And actually the my session database is not there here. See the list. See, the list is not showing you my sessions now. The old value is left there, that's all. But the database is not existing for you over there. Hope you guys are clear. Now come back to your application. And the application, if you try to run this, you will get error now. Why? It's loading still. Error. Are you set to connect to my session? I don't find it there. I don't find it there. So come back here, remove this line, rebuild. Again, the same old story. What is it? In proc. Brought it back into in proc session mode. It is in proc, guys. See how to prove that? Go to task manager, right click and task. Come back, refresh. Lost your data. Why? Again, back into in proc session mode. Did you understand me? So these are the three options. What do we have? One is in proc, state server, SQL server. Okay, tomorrow in the interviews, first they'll ask you this question. What is it? Where can we store, where the web server stores the session data? Where web server stores the session data? So clearly answer. Actually, there are three different options available to choose where the web server has to store the session data. Option number one is in proc. This is the default. In this case, the session data will be stored in the worker process memory. Where is it? Worker process memory. Option number two is state server. Option number two is state server. When you're talking about state server, when you're talking about the state server, in this case, the data will be stored for you under where? The data will be stored for in a separate software called as state server. And we need to do the required configurations. We need to do the required configurations now. Option number three, SQL server. It can be stored in the SQL server. In proc and state server are temporary only, but SQL server has a temporary also, persisted also. Default is temporary. If you want persisted, under that again two options are there. What are that? Temporary persisted with inbuilt database, persisted with user defined database, but both are persistent. But for everything, the appropriate settings to be done in your applications exactly. Got it or not? For a temporary and persisted, for a T and P, same settings. For C, you need to add two additional parameters. What is that? Database name should be specified. And allow custom SQL databases is equals to true. A property also should be enabled. Clear? Fine. The next question that will be asked on this, the next question that will be asked on this is, in which scenario do I need to use state server and SQL server session modes? In which scenarios do I need to use state server and SQL server session modes? Did you understand the question? So what is the question? When do we use state server and SQL server session mode options? Listen, we generally use these two options when our web application is running. We generally use these two options when our web application is running in a web form or web garden architectures. So read the answer carefully. If your web application is running in a web form or a web garden architecture, we use this, guys. So now the question is, sir, what is a web form and web garden architecture? What is a web form architecture? What is a web garden architecture? Listen. Did you use the IRCTC website at morning 11 o'clock anytime? the site won't respond even, right? If at all you have a normal internet connection with a very less speed, the site page won't open at all first. Why? Because at that time, the Tatkal reservation starts and everyone throughout the country will be hitting it now. So lot of load. It has lot of load. So because it has lot of load, it cannot respond for all the people. But my question is IRCTC web server at 11 o'clock has more load than a Google's web server or a Facebook server or a Amazon Flipkart server? 24/7 they are busy. Your IRCTC website can become busy at morning 8 o'clock sometimes. Special reservations, suddenly the booking opens today at that time. Second scenario, Tatkal, 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock at that timings. Am I correct? But rest of the time, IRCTC is not that busy. But still I'm asking the question, is IRCTC that much loaded than a Google or a Facebook server? But with Google or Facebook, we never face this problem. Why are we facing this problem with IRCTC only? Why with Google this problem is never coming? Why with Facebook this problem is never coming? Facebook, Google 24/7, anytime you open, they will work. And the demand and the people all over the world are using. IRCTC is used by people only in India, guys. But Google is used by throughout the world. Facebook is used by throughout the world. But how they are functioning without any problem and why my IRCTC is not working? Because Google, Facebook, and all these will run for you in a web garden architecture. They run in a web garden architecture. What is that web garden architecture? Guys, today the government has announced from special scheme for farmers. Some special scheme for farmers, telling to all the farmers, you can take your documents of your farmland, you can go to a bank and you can get a loan of 1 lakh rupees immediately. Did you understand me? Just to take your documents and you can take a loan. You have a passbook. Take that passbook, take the Aadhaar card, you go to a bank and you will be getting a loan immediately. This is what the government has announced, a new scheme now. And on that day, the bank in the villages is completely flooded with people now. Everyone starts coming down. Regularly, you don't have these many number of customers to the bank now. So when you don't have, there is only one teller counter and all the customers are coming to the teller counter doing the transactions and doing it. A small village here, people come to the bank, but not in a huge pace. They'll be coming up and you will be interacting with those particular customers. And okay, but imagine like this. What is that? Imagine, suppose today when the government has announced this particular scheme, 1,000 people came to the bank now. And the regular one single counter cannot serve the people. If I have the same single counter, people have to stand in the queues for hours and hours now. So the manager, what he has done is, the manager immediately opened 3 or 4 counters in the bank now. 3 or 4 counters and distributing the load now. Distributing the load without 1,000 people standing in one queue. What he has done is he has opened 5 counters and asked 5 employees in the bank to just take care of them because today is a busy schedule and everyone is sitting on 5 telecounters now. And now I'm distributing the load. So without 1,000 people served by one counter now, 200 people to each counter. Got it? So we call this concept as load balancing. What is that? Load balancing. Load balancing. Generally, right now in the cities, if you go to any bank here, in the city, if you go to any bank, you'll find load balancing there. What is it? When you enter the bank, you directly don't go to any counter. Have you noticed it? There will be a ticketing machine. There will be a ticketing machine. You go to the ticketing machine and you say, what do you want? I want to deposit. Click on that, a token is generated. You go and sit in the chair now. Whenever your turn comes, on the screen it will show you, what it will show you? Which counter and your token number. So based on your token number, you go to the counter now. You are going to counter number 1, next customer to counter number 5, next customer to counter number 3, like this it, so that no one is standing in the queue there now. Are you getting my point here? So basically it's a load balancing. Means first who is taking care of it? The ticketing machine is taking care of all the customers. It is generating the tickets now and the ticket numbers and displays the ticket numbers on the screen, telling this ticket number go to this screen. This counter. This ticket number go to this counter. Like this, it is going to distribute the load. This is also load balancing only. This is also load balancing only, or distributing the load between all the customers now. Am I clearer or not? Understood, all of you? So this is how exactly the things are going to be managed. This is how exactly the things are going to be managed. Okay. So if you observe it now, guys, if you observe it now, in this case, what is happening? You're distributing the load between all the customers. You're distributing the load between all the customers. Between all the customers, the load is getting distributed. Between all the customers, the load is being distributed. You're distributing the load between all these particular customers, basically. So exactly the same thing you just require to remember here. What is that? Whenever you're trying to use, this Google, Facebook and all, same like multiple counters in a bank will be running for you on multiple web servers. They'll be running for you on multiple web servers. So the application is not running on single web server here. The application is running on multiple web servers. At a time, imagine like there are 10 web servers throughout the country. All the people in one region will be connecting to one web server. Another region, another web server. Another region, another web server. Like this, they are targeting different web servers now. If an application runs on more than one web server, we call that as a web form architecture. So in a bank, we have a ticketing machine which is going to divide the customers into different customers. Na? Exactly here, what happens, in this scenario, what I'm telling you, what is going to happen is, there will be a machine called as a proxy server. There will be a machine called as a proxy server or a load balancer The request first comes to load balancer. Load balancer will check which server is free and redirects the request to that server. Now, 10 servers are there here. First you came to load balancer. What the load balancer will do? The load balancer will give you to one server. Second customer, second server. Third customer, third server. Like this, it will distribute now. 10 filled. Next customer, first server. Next customer, it will distribute the load now. Without putting all the load on single server, it is going to distribute the load between multiple servers. So what is it doing? Load balancing. See, you go to any jewelry showroom in the city, guys. Big jewelry showrooms in the city. Like Kalyan Jewelries, Jyoti, okay. So big jewelry showrooms we just have. Okay. Lalita Jewelries, Kalyan Jewelries. If you go them, they're very big in size. And a lot of customers will come. And when you enter the showroom, exactly at the entrance gate, a supervisor will be standing. He will ask you, what do you want? You said that you want a ring or a chain or an anklet or something, whatever it is. You ask, immediately a salesman is called and the salesman is associated with you. And he says that he will show you whatever you want and he will be with you until your billing is done. And the salesman will be with you only until the billing is completed. Are you clear? And that salesman will never take care of any other customer in the middle. But see, the supervisor is associating with a salesman to you now. Second customer, second salesman. Third customer, third salesman. Like this, he is distributing the load now. Right? The same supervisor job, who is doing here? Load balancer. The load balancer will do this work for you. Okay. Now, every customer is sent to a different server and balancing the load. Are you clear? Okay. Imagine like this. What is it? You sent your first request here. You are sent to web server. You went to load balancer. Load balancer redirected you to web server 1. Carefully listen. You are the first customer. You hit the load balancer. Load balancer send you to web server 1. Now you store some session data associated with you is stored in the in-proc session memory, means worker process memory. Worker process memory, where on the web server's memory it is stored now. Okay, fine. The session ID is given to you. The response came back. Second time you sent a request. Now the load balancer redirected you to web server 2 now, not 1. It redirected you to, and you carry the session ID there. But where is the session here? Session is on web server 1 here. Did you catch my point or not? You opened an account in bank, in one branch of the bank, and tomorrow you go to another branch and say, I have an account there, miss. I don't have your information here now. Today everything is online. But recollect the olden days when we don't have online option. If you open an account in Amirpet branch, you require to visit Amirpet branch only. Today everything became online and we are able to access the account throughout. But some services are still happens only in the home branch. Some services are still enabled for you in the home branch. I want to deposit 10 lakhs from my account now. He will clearly tell you, go to your home branch, sir. You are not allowed here. Generally, I want to withdraw some 5,000 rupees. Okay, withdraw from any branch. I want to withdraw 10 lakhs from my bank now. Then they clearly tell you, you're required to do it only in your home branch. Are you getting my point? So exactly, my first request went to where? Web server 1. So web server 1 stored me the session data. Where? In the in-proc memory. Worker process memory. In the worker process memory. Given the session ID and said, next time come back with the session ID, I'll give you the data. But next time, my load balancer send me to another web server. And another web server, when it sees you the session ID, you don't dare, and it will create a new session for you now. And your old data is missing. Next time, if your request goes to another web server, another session ID will be maintained. Another session is created for you, and nothing matches. Got it? Yes or not? In this scenario, you cannot use in-proc sessions at all. You cannot use in-proc sessions. Then what you require to do? You require to use a state server or SQL server session modes now. So what you require to do is, you require to have state server software, a separate software, and your sessions are configured into state server. All these 10 web servers will connect to state server. You went to server 1. Server 1 stored you in the state server and given the session ID. Now you go to server 2. Server 2 also connects to the same state server, just like our ATM machines, all connecting to one centralized database. You go to any web server, the changes will, any ATM, the changes will reflect. Why, sir? Because all are connecting to the same database. Same concept here also. All the web servers are configured to connect with state server or SQL server softwares. In this scenario, in the web form or a web garden architecture, I did not tell you web garden still. Web form or web garden architecture. Remember, in-proc session modes cannot be used. Clearer or not? When can we use, miss, when can I use in the sense, I don't want sessions at all in my application, then okay. But if at all you want to work with the sessions in web form architecture, web garden architecture, in-proc cannot be used. Compulsory state server or SQL server. Watch the web form architecture, guys. This is the web form architecture. These are the clients. Connecting to the load balancer is sending to web server 1 or web server 2 now. The application is on 2 web servers now. First time your request went to web server 1. Second time your request can go to web server 2. Are you clear? To overcome this, this is the other machine where I have state server or SQL server configured. Okay. And these 2 web servers are connecting to this. How, sir? URL. You give the connection string now. TCP/IP in the place of localhost. Tell the name of this server now. Port number 14242. Yesterday I said 14242. And now this one also will connect to this one only. And this one also will connect to this one only. Otherwise, use SQL server. That is your choice. Did you understand a web form architecture, all of you? Any doubts? Generally, huge load, normal architecture will not work. Compulsory web form architecture should be coming into picture. What is Web Garden architecture, sir? Web Garden architecture means basically we know about Web Garden here, but not completely in detail. See, remember what is Web Garden? Actually, yesterday I said every application pool can have one or more applications in it. Yes or not? One application present, one application only present. One worker process present can manage. But imagine here, 10 applications are present. 10 applications are running. One worker process should manage all the 10 now. Okay. 50 applications are there. That's not a good architecture, but just understand. Option is there, na. 50 applications are running under the app pool now. How many worker process are there? One. That one only has to serve all the 50 now. Are you clear? There is a examination going on in a classroom here, and the class has 20 to 25 students, 25 students. And there is a single invigilator in the classroom. And this invigilator has to give the answer sheets for all the students and at the same time check whether all the students are not doing any malpractice in the exam now. Yes or not? Both the two things. Now imagine 50 students are there in the classroom now. It becomes tough for him to see or look at all the people. In that scenario, the principal has done 2 invigilators in the classroom now. Otherwise, 3 invigilators in the classroom. One is taking care of taking care of people not doing any malpractice, and another 2 trying to distribute the answer sheets for additional answer sheets what they want. Are you clear? So classroom is one, but multiple invigilators are there. Same like that. You can have more than one worker process in an application pool. More than one worker process in an application pool. By default, every application pool has one worker process, right? Yesterday I said treat application pool like a classroom. Worker process is the teacher. The single teacher is not able to manage. Let us bring another teacher now. Means one more worker process. One more worker process. That is called as Web Garden architecture. This is our regular architecture, guys. This is the Web Garden architecture. You see, application pool has 2 worker process. Are you clear? I cannot show you web form architecture. I can only explain you. I cannot show you the web form architecture. We require real servers to do, but I can show you the Web Garden architecture. I can show you the Web Garden architecture. Guys, observe it. Where is your application pool? My pool, right? Right? Right click. Advanced settings. Process model is 1. Read this. Permitted to service request for an application pool. If the number is greater than 1, the application pool is a Web Garden. If more than 1, it is a Web Garden now. Come here. Making it 2. Application stopped once. Restarted. Guys, if you observe, not started. Oh, port number I'm giving. Sorry, guys. Not port number, na? MVC data transfer. Okay. See, if you go to here, where task manager, W3 WP, right? We have a W3 WP. But keep on refreshing it continuously. Keep refreshing it continuously. There is a chance like another thing also can start. One more thing can start because only one single client is here. We're not able to see that. But if at all you have multiple, you should see this, guys. Just a minute. Let's open another browser. Home index 10. This is a separate one. When will it start is not in my control. Yeah, started. Started, see now. Again, it is using the load balancing mechanism now. Some requests are going into worker process 1. Some are going to, now also we cannot use in proc mode here. Why? If my data is stored on worker process 1, that won't reflect to worker process 2 now. Every time I should go to worker process 1 only, I'll get the data. Otherwise, I won't get this particular information. Okay. You keep on refreshing it like this because number of requests are very less here. We cannot, but if you keep on requesting like this, sometimes you get 0. If you get 0, what is the meaning? Your request now went to another worker process. Your request now went to another worker process. If it goes to the same worker process every time, no problem here. But if it goes to a different worker process, then there is a chance of getting zeros there. You need more number of clients to test this particular scenario. Okay, 1 or 2 clients, we don't observe it because very less na. Some 1,000 customers if present at the time, we can identify this. Did you understand me or not? So in this case also, in proc session mode will not work. Either state server or SQL server session modes has to be used. Clearer or not? So try these things carefully, guys. One is SQL server mode. Already yesterday we tried the SQL server. I given every option to you guys. How you use in SQL authentication, how you use in Windows authentication, and how you require to write the connection string. I shown for all the things, permanent, custom, every option I shown you. Practice it immediately, otherwise you will forget the process. Got it? And then I said to you, what is a web form architecture? What is a web garden architecture? This is all about the sessions. Clear? Tomorrow we will learn about application. Let's stop here, guys.